I got a call from my neighbor, Mrs. Gable, asking for a huge favor. She needed someone to watch her dog, Winston, for the weekend. I'd seen Winston before, a massive black Doberman with cropped ears and an unervingly intelligent gaze. She offered me $500 for 2 nights. For that kind of cash, I would have watched a velociraptor. I immediately said yes. When I arrived at her immaculate house, she handed me a folded piece of paper. "These are just a few little rules for Winston," she said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "He can be a bit particular, but I'm sure you'll be fine." She patted my arm, a little too firmly, and then she was gone. I unfolded the paper. It was a typed list, neat and simple. Rule 1. Winston eats twice a day, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. sharp. Use the food in the silver container. Never be late. He gets very hungry. Rule 2. Let him out into the backyard to do his business after each meal. Do not let him wander. Stay on the patio and watch him. He appreciates the company. Rule 3. He loves his red rubber ball. You can play fetch with him in the hallway, but never in the living room. He doesn't like his things mixing with Mrs. Gable's things. Rule 4. When it's bedtime, lead him to the dog bed in the master bedroom. He sleeps at the foot of the bed. He must be in the room before you are. He likes to feel he's protecting you. Rule 5. Keep all doors and windows locked after sundown. This is not for your safety. It's for everyone else's. Rule 6. If he growls, it's a warning. Whatever you are doing, stop immediately and back away slowly. Do not show fear. He dislikes weakness. Rule 7. Never, under any circumstances, look him directly in the eyes. He perceives it as a challenge, and Winston does not like to be challenged. I reread the list. A little weird, sure, but nothing too crazy. Rich people are eccentric, and their pets are even more so. The first evening went smoothly. At 8 p.m. sharp, I scooped food from the silver container into his bowl. Winston ate with a quiet intensity that was a bit unsettling. Afterward, I let him into the backyard. He did his business quickly, then stood by the fence, perfectly still, just staring into the darkness of the woods beyond. It was creepy, but I stayed on the patio like the rules said. We played fetch in the hallway for a bit. He was surprisingly gentle, dropping the ball right at my feet every time. When bedtime came, I led him to the master bedroom. Let him enter first, and he curled up on his large bed. I locked up, double-checked everything, and went to sleep in the guest room, feeling like I just made the easiest $500 of my life. The second night was different. I was watching a movie in the living room, the sound low when I heard it, a faint scraping sound from the back of the house. I paused the movie, listening. Silence. I told myself it was just the old house settling, or a branch against a window. Then I heard it again, louder this time. A distinct pop, like a lock being forced. My heart hammered against my ribs. Someone was breaking in. I grabbed my phone, ready to dial 911, but I froze. What about Winston? I crept out of the living room and saw him standing at the end of the hallway, a low, guttural growl vibrating in his chest. He was staring at the back door. Rule 6 flashed in my mind. If he growls, it's a warning. The back door creaked open, and a figure slipped inside. A man, dressed in dark clothes, a flashlight in one hand. He clearly didn't expect anyone to be home, and he certainly didn't expect a dog like Winston. The intruder froze when the beam of his flashlight caught the dog's silhouette. Winston didn't bark. He just stood there, the growl deepening into something that sounded less like an animal and more like shifting rock. "Easy, doggy, easy," the intruder whispered, taking a hesitant step back. He was scared. I could see it, and Winston could smell it. The man, in his panic, made his first mistake. He must have seen the red rubber ball on the floor nearby. He bent down, picked it up, and tossed it toward the living room. "Go get it, boy," he urged, his voice trembling. A clear violation of Rule 3. Never in the living room. The growling stopped. An eerie silence filled the house. Winston didn't move a muscle. He just watched the red ball roll to a stop on Mrs. Gable's pristine white rug. His head slowly turned back to the intruder. The man, seeing the dog wasn't distracted, started to panic more. He backed away, fumbling behind him, knocking the vase off a small table. It shattered on the floor. He was making too much noise, showing too much fear. A violation of Rule 6. Winston took a slow, deliberate step forward, then another. He wasn't walking like a dog. He moved with a chilling, fluid grace that was utterly unnatural. The intruder's eyes were wide with terror. He kept backing up until he hit the kitchen counter. He was trapped. "Good boy," he pleaded, his voice cracking. "Nice doggy." Then he made his final, fatal mistake. Desperate, trying to assert some kind of dominance, he stared right at Winston. He looked him directly in the eyes. Rule 7. The one rule I knew instinctively you could never, ever break. He hates a challenge. The change was instantaneous and horrific. Winston's form seemed to shimmer, to stretch. His neck elongated, his jaw unhinged, impossibly wide, revealing rows of needle-like teeth that were not there a second ago. A sound like tearing fabric filled the air as his body contorted. The intruder didn't even have time to scream. Winston lunged. It wasn't a pounce. It was a blur of black motion, a living shadow detaching itself from the floor. I slammed the guest room door shut and locked it, my body shaking uncontrollably. I didn't see what happened next, but I heard it. The sounds were wet and sharp, and they went on for what felt like an eternity. Then silence, a deafening, absolute silence. I stayed in that room, huddled in the corner, until the sun came up. I didn't dare make a sound. When morning finally broke, I slowly, cautiously opened the door. The hallway was spotless. The back door was closed and locked. The shattered vase was gone. The red ball was back in its spot by the hallway wall. The kitchen floor was clean. There was no sign of a break-in, no sign of a struggle. It was as if nothing had happened. Nothing except for Winston, sitting calmly by his food bowl, tail wagging expectantly. It was 7:59 a.m. I looked at the silver container. I knew I couldn't be late. He gets very hungry. I fed the dog, let him out, and when Mrs. Gable returned, I just took the money and left. I never asked what happened to the intruder. I never asked what Winston really was. Some rules are not meant to be understood. They're just meant to be followed. Thanks for listening. If this story sent a chill down your spine, hit that like button and subscribe for more tailies from the long static. Stay safe out there.